Did you know for passengers, the bar room is inspired by the bar room from Stanley Kubrick's The Shining? In both films, the bartenders are dressed in red tuxedos, carry themselves in a sophisticated manner, have a strange friendship with the lead male, are not concerned with payment, and are unable to leave. In addition, the primary light source in the bar and lounge shines from below rather than above. Finally, a variation on the iconic orange and red carpet design from Overlook Hotel hallways can be seen in the seating area. 2. The voice of the starship Avalon belongs to voiceover artist Emma Clarke, who is also one of the iconic Mind the Gap voices on London Underground. 3. Michael Sheen has described the bartender Arthur he played as a cross between a puppy and a toaster. 4. Jennifer Lawrence's friend Adele tried to convince Lawrence not to star in this film because Adele found the questionable love story similar to that of Twilight. However, Lawrence took the role thinking the film would be a surefire success. Years later, Lawrence admitted she regretted being in the film, saying of Adele's suggestion, "I should have listened to her." Did you know for Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, if Dwayne Johnson could play any other role in the film, he'd play Jack Black's character, Bethany. Johnson said, "I know how much fun Jack had every day playing a 16-year-old self-obsessed girl." 2. Jack Black had a lot of fun as Bethany, teaching Karen Gillan's character to flirt. "I was teaching her how to flirt and how to work it, runway style. It was like a living organism kind of scene where some of it was on the page, but a lot was just happening in real time." 3. Tom Holland was originally cast as Seaplane McDonough, but had to drop out of the film due to scheduling conflicts with Spider-Man: Homecoming, so Nick Jonas was cast in his place. 4. Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart are known for their intensive workout routines, but it was Karen Gillan, whose character is an expert in various martial arts and dance fighting, who did the most extensive work with the stunt team to learn the fight choreography for her scenes. 5. Dwayne Johnson pitched the name Smolder to Jake Kasdan via text. What if his name was Smolder, but he had this unique ability to just smolder? And he's like, "I love it." Did you know for Mission Impossible, while filming the famous scene where Tom Cruise drops from the ceiling and hovers inches above the ground, Cruise's head kept hitting the floor until he got the idea to put coins in his shoes for balance? 2. According to Martin Landau in an earlier treatment, the original plan was to bring back the entire original cast of the television series, just to write them all off in the first act. Every member of the cast refused to participate. 3. Paramount Pictures owned the rights to the television series and had tried for years to make a movie version, but had failed to come up with a viable treatment. Tom Cruise had been a fan of the show since he was young and thought that it would be a good idea for a movie. Cruise chose Mission Impossible to be the first project of his new production company and convinced Paramount Pictures to put up an $80 million budget. 4. Emilio Estevez appeared in a fairly lengthy, uncredited role in the beginning of this movie. He even has quite a few memorable lines of dialogue. Tom Cruise had previously made a similarly uncredited cameo in Estevez's earlier movie, Young Guns. Did you know for Ants, Christopher Walken's voice work was so excellent that Cutter's role was expanded? He was originally a faceless lackey to General Mandible, but Walken brought some unexpected depths to the character. 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger was originally offered the part of Weaver. When Schwarzenegger wanted to be paid for the role, it went to Sylvester Stallone, who was willing to do it for free. 3. DreamWorks Animation's first feature film, and the only one released in the 20th century, to be fully computer animated. Starting with Shrek, all of that company's subsequent CGI films were released in the 21st century. 4. Ants and termites really do go to war with each other. But in reality, ants would emerge the victors, because they would easily outnumber a termite nest. 5. This film shares a similar plot with the Pixar cartoon A Bug's Life, which was released the same year. In both stories, a common worker ant who's known for his unorthodox thinking sparks a chain of events that affect his entire colony and lands him a romance with the princess. Did you know for The Prince of Egypt, the production team and executive producer Jeffrey Katzenberg conferred with roughly 600 religious experts to make this movie as accurate and faithful to the original story as possible? After previewing the developing movie, all of the religious scholars, experts, and leaders associated in the making of this movie noted that the studio executives listened and responded to their ideas and praised the studio for reaching out for comment from outside sources. 2. The voice of God, to avoid controversy, was played by all of the major actors. The actors were told to whisper the lines, so none would dominate the performance. But by the time they got around to having Val Kilmer read his lines, they realized they needed someone to be louder. You still can hear the rest of the cast whispering beneath Kilmer's voice in God's lines. 3. The 4-minute parting of the Red Sea sequence took 10 animators 2 years to complete. 4. Ofra Haza performed the voice of Yocheved in 17 of the 20-plus languages in which this movie was dubbed, pronouncing the words of the languages she did not speak phonetically. Did you know for Crazy, Stupid Love, Steve Carell has said that he hates the title of the film, stating that he couldn't imagine a group of college guys saying, 5 tickets to Crazy, Stupid Love, please. One of the working titles Carell preferred was The Wingman, which he felt was a boring title, but more accurately described the film's plot. 2. While rehearsing for the scene where Ryan Gosling lifted Emma Stone in the air Dirty Dancing style, Stone didn't realize she had a phobia of being lifted high up until the first time Gosling did it. She had a full meltdown, which Gosling described as like a possum falling out of a tree and trying to scratch your eyes out. Afterwards, she ran away crying and had to lie in bed watching Labyrinth to calm down. Her phobia came from when she was 7 years old and fell off the high bars in gymnastics and broke both her arms. They ended up using a body double for the lift, but they did use the recording of Stone's real screams. 3. Emma Stone's character, Hannah, is a law student. Steve Carell originally wanted to be a lawyer, but he reached a question on an application form that said, "Why do you want to be a lawyer?" He could not think of anything. Did you know for The Flash, Michael Keaton was 71 at the time of this film's release, making him the oldest actor to play Batman in a live-action film or TV series. The only actors who were older were Adam West, who was 88 when he voiced Batman for a final time in Batman vs. Two-Face, which was released after his passing, and Olin Soul, who was 74 when he voiced Batman for a final time in the 7th season of Super Friends. 2. Michael Shannon was hesitant to return as General Zod because he was very upset with the circumstances of Zack Snyder's exit from the franchise. He finally agreed after Snyder gave him his blessing. 3. In contrast to the infamously troubled production of Justice League, Ben Affleck said that he had a great time reprising his role of Bruce Wayne Batman in this film. 4. Michael Keaton's original Batman suit was infamously restrictive, forcing him to move his entire body to look around. For this movie, the costume designers created a more flexible suit that allowed for greater range of motion, but when Keaton first tried it on, he insisted it be made stiffer. Did you know for Jennifer's body, to prepare for her role as a possessed living dead teenager, Megan Fox lost around 15 pounds, bringing her weight down to a near frail 97 pounds, and stayed out of the sun for 4 months to keep her skin pale. 2. Megan Fox has said, this is her favorite of her own movies. 3. Originally, the sexual tension between Needy and Jennifer was much stronger in the first scripts. The love scene between the two was much more extensive and strong. But, little by little, Fox put pressure to soften and appease. However, the production flatly refused to remove the sexual exploration between Needy and Jennifer, as they considered that the most attractive approach of the film was to show how Needy struggled against her feelings towards Jennifer. 4. While trying to illustrate how completely the studio's all-male marketing department misunderstood the point of this movie, director Karen Kusama recalled that one of their marketing ideas was for Megan Fox to do live chats with adult sites. Kusama said that she begged them to not even mention the idea to Fox because she will become so dispirited, it was crushing.